MJ's legacy. Man, if you're a hooper from Illinois, that shadow that he casts, it follows you everywhere. People, they still talking about looking for the next MJ, like LeBron never had.
Still being from Chicago is a pretty heavy burden trying to live up to that.
It is, and it isn't, I don't put pressure on myself for results. I put pressure on myself to work. If I put in as much work as possible, I'll live with whatever happens.
So you're not trying to want not to go.
Oh man, I'm trying to learn from him. How he continued to evolve as a player, how he balanced taking over a game and still keeping his teammates involved. Do I think that I have greatness? Of course. But it's not about comparing myself to MJ. It's about maximizing my gifts and my talents and using them in a way that leads to us winning more games. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Winning games. And that's what
Nicely done. I can see that media training's paying off.
I was just honest mostly.
But you didn't give them any bulletin board material, okay? It shows maturity and restraint. Look, I get it. Tooting your own horn feels really good when you've earned it the way you have. But you know what? The real pros, they let their behavior talk.
MJ did not hold back on saying bold statements.
But you're thinking MJ once he was MJ. He didn't come into the league talking like that. And you know why? Because that sort of thing doesn't fly when your teammates don't know who can back it up.
Alright, that makes sense.
Good.
I hear you.
Alright. Now they're taking some photographs, and it sounds like they're considering you the cover.
Okay, that's what's up. So, you got any advice?
Pose in a way that reflects your public persona, okay? You know a picture's worth 1,000 words. Why don't you head over there now? They're all set up for you.
Thank you as always.
Good luck.
And Pete, you fat.
What's up, man? How you doing? Good.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, so what we shooting today?
Alright. Stand right here.
Right there. Some of your best poses.
Alright.
Hold that. Right there. Perfect. Great. Yo,
Alright, good. Hey, do you know when the official comes out?
Y'all know the exact date, but check us out on socials. You'll be there first.
Alright, good. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Alright, you ready?
What up, Randy?
Yo, I think I just saw this. Can you get me over there? Time to talk rotation. Great. This is all pretty straightforward. Like Liv said, communication is a big part of what we do here at the ball club. I can see that, and it's much appreciated. Bring just take this in. We in the league. When you ever just watch something like this, okay, man, I never really thought about what the tongue looks like, man. Nah. I'm talking about tongue. I'm talking about right here. You
matching up against DeMar DeRozan and the Sacramento Kings. Then on Saturday, they'll head home to take on the Toronto Raptors. And you know for that matchup with Denver, that's a contest that I'll keep an eye on. That'll be the 5th time they take it to the floor, and they want to get off to a fast start this year. Let's check out Minnesota's starting lineup. And it's at 2 with McDaniel playing 3. Julius Randle out there with Rudy Gobert. And it's Conley in at the 1. And for the Lake. And you talk to MB about his time growing up. And he shared that he studied Jordan and the Bulls. It's a dream come true for him to step out. Onto an NBA court and try to follow those footsteps. And keeping us updated from the sideline, Allie LaForce.
I did briefly speak with Julie Red. I asked him how Rudy Gobert altered their usual game plan. Coach acknowledged that this was a factor and said Rudy definitely demands more of us offensively. We have to be careful when we start our shooters, intimidating squats. Coach thinks an intelligent offense is what it takes to beat Gobert. Back to you.
Allie, thank you.
So good at blocking rejections. Gobert has all the physical tools and laser-sharp reflexes that
What's what I love about opening day, Graham? Every team with an equal chance to do something special. Oh, BA, that's the way these teams look at it. Regardless of how your previous team went, you have a chance to do something special. Something great. Time to start fresh. And here's outside. Rebounded by Minnesota. Daniels. Williams coming in. Back to Daniels. Pass to Gobert. Randle with it. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Embiid. That's in. Coming off an assist from Randle.
Look, this is how you want to start every game. 5 for 5. Come on.
And let's go 1-2, 3-point line so far. John Reeves nails the back of the jumper.
Yes, so still offensively. Getting the ball in his hands
Last year, most of their lineups had multiple bigs.
Yeah, we saw how effective it was, especially on defense. Minnesota led the league in defensive rating by a wide margin, and that rate was a key factor.
Back to Reeves. 3-pointer. McDaniels with the rebound. The Timberwolves lead by 4. Pass to Conley. And here's Williams. Conley with the ball. MP scanning the floor. The Timberwolves need to get off the shot. 3. McDaniels got 6.
Getting out to a nice lead. Great flow and great execution.
James outside. Back to Doncic. A minute and a half left in the first quarter. And they use no time getting those 3-pointers back. Give it 8.
Exchanging buckets from downtown. That's been a staple tonight's game.
Sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
And he comes up with the bucket.
Looks like I'm starting to see a pattern here. Not afraid to get into the paint and get wet.
Like they're trailing by 6. Outside Vanderbilt. Doncic by Vanderbilt. And then there's James from the arc. Gets rebounded by Minnesota. Left side Daniels. MP against Vanderbilt. Williams misses. And Doncic has got the ball here for Los Angeles. surprised he didn't come up with something a little more creative. Doncic against Conley. Doncic up top. Give it 8 points now. Doesn't go for him. And so it's Embiid making things happen for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He put together 10 points in the quarter. More NBA on 2K Sports right after this.
Fuck around and drop a dub on these niggas.
And for those of you just tuning in, second quarter action is where we are. All right, guys, what do you think so far on the offensive approach for the Timberwolves?
Well, they're great for ball moving, all those consistent buckets means the offense is running well.
And not only that, they're off to a pretty hot start shooting from outside.
They seem locked in tonight.
And the second as we go, let's catch you up on the story of the team.
BigRico, a lot of anticipation for the rookie as he has made his NBA debut tonight. I caught up with him before the game and asked him if any reflections on during the year. He said, I had to grow a lot as a player, not just in skills, but in my approach to the game. He told me that it's been a long journey to get here, but it's his first time.
Well, I know a lot of people are excited about MP's potential on the court for Minnesota. Williams is out there with Dante DiVincenzo. Then there's Nas Reed. Then it's Mikhail Alexander-Walker. And it's McDaniels in at the 4th slot. Reeves against MP. Over MP. Shot by Reeves, no good.
Well, that one should be in his wheelhouse, but just off the right.
Stanley first round pick of 2020. Jake McDaniels, one of the top young two-way players in the league.
Last season, he was rewarded with a big money extension. This play's tailed off just a bit, but still a key player for them moving forward.
They're just taking what their defense gives them. And right now, that's the interior.
There's Reeves.
All he needed was a little separation. So effective.
Ortega had put him in position for a prime time dunk.
Well, give credit to the screener there. That's how you help free up the defense.
And Chris Finch has called timeout. He's going to talk it over with his guys. Eagles keep checking in for Minnesota. And now looking at the 2K leaderboard. Here's a view of which teams last year got after it with their shot blocking. Number 5, the Timberwolves.
Now, we all know they didn't allow any easy buckets last season. I mean, their defense was tremendous, and their rim protection was just outstanding.
Reed screen on James. Beyond the arc. Alexander Walker with the bucket. Alexander Walker's got himself on the board with a 3 there.
And taking a look at this first half, they've just shown better shot selection.
Yeah, they've done a better job executing offensively, moving the ball, and making high percentage looks.
Minnesota leading by 10. MP inside. James is there. Outside. DiVincenzo. Back to MP. Outside. Ingles. Pass to DiVincenzo. Three-pointer. And another three for Minnesota.
And just executing at a high level. I mean, taking what the defense allows and putting it to work.
Yeah, come on, they're just having their way out there and continuing to press you in.
Releases. A shot by James, no good. Minnesota's gone 5 of 6 from three-point so far. And counted. The shot is good, and he'll go to the line.
I love the determination that he showed there. He is developing into an absolute bulldog.
Minnesota shooting their first free throw of the evening. Connect checked in for the Lakers. Luka Doncic comes in for Vincent, and the new group getting ready for the Timberwolves. Gobert checked in for Reed. Randall comes in for Ingles. Anthony Edwards is checked in for Alexander Walker. And Conley subbed in for DiVincenzo.
Fuck.
And we're joined now by Sean Serrano. He's called into the story. Good to have you, Sean. What's going on?
Well, guys, teams are all grappling with this new CBA, especially with this dreaded second apron. Fans possibly unclear on what it means. Honestly, even for us, we're still navigating the complexity of the new restrictions. But basically, it has become harder for teams to spend big and acquire new players under the current system. We'll see, guys, how this impacts everyone moving forward.
Something to keep an eye on, no doubt. All right, Sean, thanks a lot. Doncic against Conley. Oh, Luka, like a bull in there. Yeah, from a tough spot on the floor.
Luka's shooting ability on display right there.
Vanderbilt against Randall. Right side, Williams. It's rebounded by Los Angeles. This game against Minnesota is the first time they've met this year. Lakers trail by 13. Here's Connect. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more. Minnesota closing out the quarter ahead by 11 points. And it's all due to their ability to own the paint. They've been dominant down low. Back to the game after this break.
Hello and welcome. Before we take a look at the action from the first half, a brief overview of some upcoming games. Just to throw you guys a little curveball here. What's your take on the alternate floor designs teams are using these days?
It's different, that's for sure. You watch the TV, you know, it jumps out at you. But the players on the court don't know.
That's because you always went out there with my kid. Always knew what floor was.
Switching back to that first half of action, everything's been working for the Timberwolves.
Their bench came in ready to play. As a starter, that gives you confidence. You have to come off the floor.
Yeah, you know that on second unit has the best. Like I've got you guys.
It's hard to find a better bodyguard than a 7-foot sheriff. Thanks as always for watching. Let's head back to Brian Anderson and crew for the start of the second half. And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly in the second. Hey, look at MG in this game. He's been everywhere.
I like how they control the tempo and play to his strengths.
Yeah, he's found his spots. Been
Hey,
patient with his shot selection.
hey.
He's paid off for himself and the team.
Change here. Williams is checked in.
in.
Fuck in this thing. Let's get back out there.
LeBron and Vanderbilt, your small and power forwards. Luka Doncic is out there with Austin Reeves. And it's Hayes in the 5. That's the Laker 5. Doncic, no good.
They really have a commanding lead, not just in points, but in rebounds as well.
In 2024, Luka Doncic recorded 6 consecutive 30-point triple-double games.
That's right, BA. The first time anyone's done it in NBA history. So if you didn't already believe in the magic, well, there's some proof that the magic is real.
Doncic, there's the triple. And once again, off the mark by Los Angeles.
And guys, this shot hasn't been falling this quarter. Time to settle down, refocus, and get a really high percentage look.
And here's MP from outside.
Fuck!
Rebounded by the Lakers. Gives us a chance to catch up with that little force.
Well, the Timberwolves, no doubt, a team to be reckoned with. Coach Chris Finch said, we come in every single night and compete. No matter what circumstances are, we expect to win. You root for each other.
And they have reason to be confident, Ali. Thank you.
Excellent decision from James. He's all for whipping passes to uncover teammates.
Power move from MP.
Stop playing with me,
He's the
man.
reason why they're winning right now. He's been
Fuck they talking about? Opening night.
Confidence continues to grow.
That's to Reeves. Now Hayes. James decided where to go with it. And it's Gobert with the rebound. Gobert's got his 4th rebound in this one. Here's MP. The layup off target.
And the shooter has very little space on that attempt.
There's no air space there whatsoever.
My fault.
That's as close as you can
Ah.
Archie Burris checked in for Vanderbilt. Alexander Walker, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. DiVincenzo comes in for Mike Conley. 54 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Doncic passes to James. The shot is good. Doncic making the play. Doncic has got 6 assists here tonight.
Well, that's his first 3 here in the second half. Gotta think he'd like a few more of those.
Pass to Randall. And that's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Randall. Some changes in Los Angeles. Finney Smith checked in for Hayes. Cadet comes in for LeBron. And Vincent is subbed in for Luka Doncic. Reeves checked in for the Timberwolves. Minot comes in for Randall. Vincent outside. Inside. Outside Finney Smith. And once again, off the mark by Los Angeles.
And right now, they're +8 rebounding category. And that's all they have one way with this.
Fuck!
Now Lakers moving it up. Here's Reeves. Knocks it loose.
What is he doing?
The rebounding battle tells the story. There's a big gap.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves, ending the quarter up 10. Great shot selection right now, keeping the game simple and getting high percentage looks. We'll be right back with you shortly. And we'll take this opportunity to show you our state pharmacist to the game.
And the winner today coming from an unlikely position.
I'm in the playoffs right now.
With the sweetest pass of the day.
Yeah, it's pretty to watch. It's great to have someone getting into the NBA in a condition like this.
Fourth quarter action is upon us. Thanks as always for joining us. And now 5 to the Timberwolves to start the 4th quarter. We've got Key Alexander Walker. MP is out there without DiVincenzo. Then there's Josh Reed. And that's Garza in at the 5 down low. Pass to Hachimura. 6 to shoot. No good there.
You hear him say my name, man?
So rewarding as a coach to see
My last name?
like MP succeeding like this on the offensive end.
Playing against LA.
Milwaukee unselfishness makes the next
Lakers.
pass and enables his team to capitalize on the possession.
Huh?
That's to Reed, outside. DiVincenzo.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Inside.
Nah, I got drafted.
Yeah, let me tell you guys,
I'm on the
players come up in this league. MP is as focused on winning as they come.
To the inside.
It was a couple teams that wanted me, but I wanted to go to Minnesota.
About a minute and a half through the fourth quarter now. Foul call. He missed it, so he's got a couple of free throws coming his way. You know, Brad, after losing in the first round last season, it felt like changes were inevitable for the Lakers.
Yeah, making the playoffs isn't enough for that franchise. They are all about championship success, and anything short of that is a failure.
Teams like the Timberwolves showing that size still matters.
Yeah, in this pace and space era, that may have come into question just a bit, but size and skill combined has always been your best bet in the
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Gobert checked in for Garza. Julius Randle comes in for Reed. McDaniels is checked in for Alexander Walker. And it's Edwards in for DiVincenzo.
They've shown the power inside. Their rebounding effort has been a sensation.
Here's Edwards. And he drops it in from the low post.
I'm trying to drop 30.
Timberwolves lead by 16.
What touch! Edwards has mastered just about every shot there is.
And there's Vanderbilt from the arc. Minnesota with the rebound. Edwards pass to Williams. Played it in with a nice
I'm trying to drop motherfucker 30.
Williams has got 12 points in just the second half.
The motor of MP. This guy loves to win, loves to compete.
Double team on James. And here's Doncic outside. McDaniels with the rebound. McDaniels got a 7th rebound here tonight.
He made a 3 back in the first half, but that's it. We'll see if he can find his stroke.
MP inside. Guarded by Doncic.
I'm trying to drop 30.
Good. MP's got 10 points now, just in this quarter. Lakers trail by 20. And so J.J. Redick calls to the timeout. He is not messing around, calling them into the huddle.
What the fuck they think this is a game?
Really feels like they're in control. They've got a big lead with time to win it.
Yeah, and at this point,
I said 30. 30.
No needless fouls and no free.
I'm gonna make the motherfucking news.
Pass to James. Doncic on the wing. Shot clock at 5. Reed.
So, we running.
Minnesota. Gobert's got his 6th rebound on the night. Minnesota with the ball. They're on a 14-4 run.
Well, the scoreboard tells you everything you need to know about this one. A great showing here for the Timberwolves.
And the disparity in the talent was obvious by the end. Sometimes you just don't have enough energy to
Yeah, just a slow beat down. And then the next time these teams meet, I can't.
That was nice too, but my shit was hot.
So this win marks their first victory of the new year.
Always good to start the season series off with a W. They show tonight they take this team seriously, and the next two matchups between these two should be fun.
And as it was happening, as it was building, you knew this was a monster game for MP.
Well, as a coach, it's so fun to watch a player dominate the game offensively like he did in this one.
Here's Doncic. And Doncic with the jam.
Wow.
And so it's Williams with it. He brings it up for the T-Wolves. So far in the fourth, they've allowed just 6 points. Now it goes in. Williams has got 32 points.
This is what winning is all about. Playing your best when it matters most.
Yeah, they've got clutch guys on this team, and they never let up.
Gets the three to fall. 35 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter of this one. Williams against Doncic. For three.
What?
MP with
Stop playing with me.
Yeah, they blocked
35.
out the boys, blocked out the distractions.
My first game.
Kept on grinding, and this is their reward.
It is all
Look, their fans left, babe. Look at the fans. Look at the seats. I done made the fans leave. Yo, this is crazy.
Together.
Yo, they really left.
Wow. Williams from long range.
Boom!
Kansas, Minnesota.
Stop playing with me, man. Yo, wait. Boy!
There's 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
I'm trying to drop 40.
Doncic up top.
Shit, he's running the clock out. Fuck.
And so it's Minnesota easily grabbing this one. A statement road victory. So impressive.
Yo, this nigga dropped 38 on these niggas.
In enemy territory, but they controlled the game and took
Yo.
the crowd completely out of it. That's how you win on the road.
That concludes the first game of the NBA season.
The first game?
Stan Van Gundy and Natalie LaForce. This
Bro.
is Brian Anderson signing off. We'll see you next time.
Bro, that was the first game. That's crazy. Bro. Why would you go in there and act like that?
First game of the pros. Your phone blowing up.
I haven't had a chance to look at my phone yet.
All you do. There will be texts from every person you've ever met, and if you believe haven't. Most notably, there will be press looking for quotes.
They didn't hit me on text too?
You want canvas of good and regular press comments. You want no comment? No comment. You want to answer? Go ahead and answer. Just remember, everything you say is on record and has impact. Most importantly, team chemistry is a public exception.
Makes sense.
Emotions run high when the meeting's just ended, okay? All I'm asking is that you take a moment, This was too easily in the lead, and what might seem like a harmless bit of bragging would be taken as a slight. Teammate, opponent, coach, you name it.
Under a microscope now.
All right. All done business.
Let's do it.
Great. If you have any other concerns, press or PR related, no more time.
Congrats to MP on his first 20-point game. I remember the first time I scored 20 in college. It was amazing feeling.
Another day, another way to work.
Got your feet wet, and the real work starts. Whatever it takes, coach, you know, okay.
Look, everyone thinks what happens out there is what creates an NBA legend, but they're wrong. 90% of the work happens here behind the scenes, at practice, in the gym, at film sessions, and in the locker room.
Coach, that was great. That was really good.
We talked a lot about maximizing your playing career with his career. But you need to remember, you become the best version of you so we can become the best version of us.
Coach, you have to put that on a t-shirt.
Serious, MP. I'm serious too. This is a team game. Everything you do both on and off the court affects our ability to win games. Chemistry is vitally important to our success, and if you do things that negatively affect that, you hurt the team. Press conference to rub someone the wrong way might mean they look you off with your open, and now we're taking a contested shot instead of an open one. It's all connected, and it all matters. All clear.
Crystal.
Good. Now rest up, rehydrate, and follow the transplant to a T. Proper recovery is just as important as proper training. You get back to work tomorrow.
that Yankee?
And the players going through their game preparation, making sure they're fully warmed up for the tip. Welcome to 2K Sports. We have the NBA coming up. Great to have you with us. This is Kevin Arnold alongside Greg Anthony as well as Brett Berry. And we'll be catching up a bit with the sideline with David Aldridge. Here's what the Timberwolves have lined up on their schedule. On Saturday, they'll head over to take on the Toronto Raptors. And then on Tuesday, they'll face off against Anthony Davis and the Dallas Mavericks.
And you know that matchup with Denver. That's a contest that I'll keep an eye on. That'll be the fifth time they take to the floor, and they're going to get off to a quick start.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Conley and Edwards with the guards. McDaniels is out there with Randall, and Gobert against center. And for the Kings, the post-player form will be Murray and Sabonis. The lead is out there with Malik Monk, and it's DeRozan in the fifth spot. Hearing scouts talk about MVP before the draft, but one concern they had was his hesitation to take over games himself.
And I think that's just how he is wired, right? He's always been a team-first player, even if that means sacrificing his own shot a bit too often.
How important, Greg, is it to a team's confidence to start this season strong?
Kevin, I think it needs more if you're a young team. If your roster is filled with veterans, you're looking at the big picture.
And so it's the Kings getting on the board first. Conley is to Gobert. Here's Edwards. Nice job down low.
And he is aggressive and creative. Edwards finding ways to create space on the floor.
The finish to Sabonis. From crossing it out. Will not go. This is on for 5. And while we got them all, let's send it over to our terrific reporter, David Aldridge. David?
As I did have a chance to talk to head coach of the Kings. And we talked about the losing big man, Julius Randle. He told me Julius sets the tone for them with his physicality. So we have to try and match that. We can't let him bully his way into the lane and get to his spots. We have to make him uncomfortable. Kevin?
Okay, thanks.
Aggressive inside. DeRozan refuses to waste that opportunity.
Conley gets to Edwards. It's to Gobert. Now, here's McDaniels. Nailed from three-point land.
That's a high percentage look when the D does a tight over screen.
And Coach over there just asking for one simple thing, and that's some effort. You got to hurt him now.
Now, here's DeRozan. Idle here for Murray. Good. And DeRozan picking up the assist.
And the library as a spot shooter knows where to find himself and always ready to receive that.
No one here after the block. That'll go on 3. The Kings have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Now in the later stages of his career, Greg, DeMar DeRozan continues to be a master from the mid-range.
And we all know he loves that area of the floor. And what makes him so effective, the football, he's so good at backing guys down and creating space to get that jump.
Here's the lead after the basket by Minnesota.
last game win against the Lakers is going to carry into this one.
And their long-range artillery hit the mark more often than not. A great equalizer when you're on the road.
Yeah, this tap hit you right out of the building, and that one just knocking it out of threes. And it was deflating both the team and the crowd.
Now here's DeRozan. Anthony Edwards underway with one shot to go in. 6 on the shot clock. And we'll look at that one. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc to the front of the game. And go outside. No good on the dribble. McKee's trailing. For the Kings. Ellis comes in for the Buck. Timberwolves also changing it up. Reed, he's checked in for Rudy Gobert. Williams comes in for McDaniels. And it's Dante DiVincenzo in for Mike Conley. We've got 1:28 left to play in the first. He throws it down hard.
That's a young, creative mind right there. Kid P doing work.
Awesome display of athleticism captured by your AT&T 5G Slam Cam. And it's DeRozan with the ball for the Kings. It's for the one. Pass to Ellis. Some nice ball movement here by the Kings. And the foul called on MP. That's his first foul. McDaniels is checked in for Minnesota. Here's Floridia. McDaniels defending. Miles gets to the lead. Now the front of the shot clock. Fires the three. And he'll grab the board. The Timberwolves are on 50% of the field at this point, 4 of 8. Williams is hauled in by the Kings. Outside Levine. It's stolen by DiVincenzo. And out of transition, here's Williams. Here we go. Fires, high post. Here's McDaniels. And the Lambs is good after a nice pass. And it's 7 points for Jaden McDaniel. The Kings trail by 3. 6 seconds separating shot game pace. Cruises from outside.
His precision on pull-up jump shots is what makes the league one of the league's most dangerous sports. And his mechanics are the dribble are on point.
And the pass by MP.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Levine's shot is off. And Williams, here we go. Pass to Reed. Launches it. No good shot, is it? So the end of 1 quarter of play. Still a close game. The Timberwolves on top, leading by just 2. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. Some good action already in this one, but a fairly even matchup after the first quarter of play. And you guys will see today on scoring right now for Minnesota.
And right from the jump, they've been working hard to establish themselves inside, using agility and power to get shots in the paint.
So much good energy and flow today, and it's really come out with a great ball. Guys are open as soon as they are. They get the ball.
Sabonis is on there with Trey Lyons. That's Ellis. Then there's Clark. And Floridia in the 3. That's the 5 beginning of the second quarter for the Kings. It's MP muscling his way for 2.
These defenders just look a bit overmatched, especially inside.
And joining us now on the phone is insider Sean Charani with some news. Sean, give it to us.
Thanks, guys. The Kings were not complacent this summer. They added all-stars DeMar DeRozan and in a sign and trade. He brings even more firepower to an offense that was already among the league's best. In the lowest Western Conference, the Kings knew they had to make moves to stay in the fight. DeRozan is one of the biggest signings in the Kings franchise.
A tremendous addition. Sean says the update. And the sugar break in action gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Kevin, thanks. The Monsters of Bonus set the longest double-double streak in over half a century last season, with 61 straight double-doubles. The second is also to be mentioned. Great, it's my job as a big man to get rebounds and finish. At the end of the day, just out there, Kevin?
Thank you, Dave. That double-double streak was a blast to watch. Historic in so many ways. And so was Minnesota with it. And the Kings pick up two. McDaniels twice. Shot like McDaniels, no good.
Nice effort anyway. Change his shot and get around the defender. Maybe next time.
Here's Floridia. He's guarded by Williams. Monk outside. Astro Wise. That's the 3-5. Reed with the rebound. Timberwolves lead by 5. Here's MP. Rebound by the Kings. Monk outside. To the left side. And for those who just joined us, we're still minutes in the second quarter. Reed with the rebound.
Oh, can't punish the defense for leaving him open that time. That's a frustrating miss for a really steady jump shooter.
For this is a lot of emphasis on three-point shooting. Greg, what's your opinion of that?
Well, Kevin, the isn't just about how far out you have to defend. It's the distance between that and how far in you have to defend. That's why analytics favors shots that go down and from distance.
Timeout called by the Kings. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy for the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows that they're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Gobert checked in for Reed. Randall comes in for McDaniels. Edwards, he's checked in for Alexander Walker. And Mike Conley subbed in for Dante DiVincenzo. Now here's Valanciunas back to DeRozan. The Kings need to get out of the shot here. Ellis. Here's Valanciunas. That shot misses. Gobert with the defensive effort. Minnesota lead by 7. Williams to the post. The drive beam. Williams gets the bucket. MP's got 11 points.
The desire to win MVP, he doesn't let anything get in his way.
And now Minnesota on the fast break. Edwards going all the way.
Yeah, a big part of this run here has been their ability to score from mid-range.
And Greg didn't take long for Anthony Edwards to prove himself in the NBA.
There's so much to like about this game, and as outstanding as his offense is, his defense cannot be overlooked. He is a lockdown player.
So it's Minnesota sitting with a comfortable lead up by 14. They've excelled in the open court of their transition game has allowed them to build this healthy lead. We'll get you back to the action after this break.
Come one, come all. The 2K halftime cheers. And so is our breakdown of the upcoming schedule. Let's check it out.
Taking a look at Sacramento. Like most teams right now, they're optimistic. We'll see how they handle the first couple of years.
Yeah, everyone starts out undefeated. It is a hopeful time of the year for everybody.
And straight back to our first bet. Things are going well, extremely well for the Timberwolves. When you shoot it efficiently, the probability of winning goes way up. It also saves wasted energy.
Yeah, sometimes teams try hard, but they're disorganized. Not these guys.
And that about wraps it up. And as the third quarter is about to begin, we go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
And with a big gap on the score. Ellis is checked in. Timberwolves also changing it up. MV's checked in for Edwards. And it's Dante DiVincenzo in for Mike Conley. Murray outside. The wide open here for Murray. Sacramento again missing. Minnesota leading by 16. So on the floor for Minnesota. Julius Randle is out there for the winner. Then Jake McDaniel. And it's DiVincenzo in the point guard.
Punch home from MV there. The young man showing off. The ups.
And so it's DeRozan bringing up for the Kings. Mr. Ellis. Only 6 left to play in the third. And there's the call on Dante DiVincenzo. That is his first foul of the game. And Alexander Walker, he's checked in for McDaniel. 153 left in the third. Ellis finds Murray. Kicks it out to Ellis. 6 to shoot. For 3, Levine. Bringing on the Timberwolves. 22 is their biggest lead.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Is Williams high post. Working on Ellis. The Kings trail by 18. Levine for 3. Good. And DeRozan picking up the assist. DeRozan's got 4 assists now tonight. That's to Alexander Walker. On the way, MV. And another one of the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of it.
Now, what's the best in the room? Outside DeRozan. DiVincenzo with the rebound.
It would surprise me to see him find his touch and still be a factor. Don't count them out yet.
The drive by MV. And MV throws it down.
Look at how swiftly MP moves to the rim there.
29 seconds left in the third quarter. Ellis outside. From outside the arc. Gobert pulls it in. Gobert's got his 4th rebound this one. On the wing, Williams. Guarded by Levine. With 4 seconds on the clock. And MP with the layup. MP's got 8 points in the quarter.
And Matador defense, that's one of the easiest shots he is ever going to see.
It feels like Christmas right now, just getting traffic.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Minnesota on top. They finish off the third quarter on a 12-3 run. Live from Golden One Center, you're watching 2K Sport. And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or if it's more of the same from the first 3 quarters. The Kings trail by 21. They've got Levine. Jonas Valanciunas is out there with Trey Lyles. Then it's Ellis and it's Monk in the corner. So that's the 5 in the game for Sacramento. There's Levine. Reinhardt pulls it in.
They have been more dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in cracking this home.
MP, no good. The Kings shooting poorly, just 35% so far. Levine kicks to Lyles from about 16. He's off on that one.
He's got to be disappointed with himself on that one. He has got to knock those down.
Williams, good from the moment it left his hand. That makes him 10 for 14.
And what a night to remember for him. He's still so young. This guy could have many nights like this in the future.
Levine, the bounce pass. Lets it go from 11. Again, the miss by the Kings. Minnesota lead by 23. Here's Williams. Up and in and out of the lane. Williams has got 23.
This is the thing about him. He has the poise to take high-percentage shots.
Again, the miss by the Kings. Timberwolves are on 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Here's Alexander Walker. The shot, no good. Shooting from Levine. Kings have gotten off to a rough start in the fourth quarter, going 0 for 4 so far. Lets it go with the three. And the foul on Youngstown Judas. That's his first foul. He's checked in for White. Joe Ingles is checked in for Minnesota. Clark comes in for Alexander Walker. Wade Greg, they're sharing the ball tonight, mesmerizing.
Everyone's getting to touch it, and everyone's contributing.
Ellis against MP. It's good. Williams has got 14 points here in the second half.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance.
Monk outside. Down low. Here's Ellis. Uses the glass to finish the lane.
He has not been able to keep the ball out of the paint at that end of the floor.
For Minnesota, they've gone 3-5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty big numbers coming out of the break. Back to Ingles. Ellis against MP. Just fine to shoot. Back to Ingles. Three-pointer. Good, and it's MP. Picking up the assist.
One thing that no team loves is a young, selfish player. Clearly, that's not who MP is.
Here's Ellis. Slammed in by Ellis.
Two teammates connecting right there. Split feed.
Minnesota's gone 3-7 tonight from three-point territory. DiVincenzo passes it to Williams. There's 1:59 left in the fourth quarter. Into the lane, and he throws it down hard.
Well, you love to see the athleticism that MP is developing here. Gets a step, and look out.
Nice job capturing the moments on the AT&T 5G Slam Cam. 1:51 left here in the fourth quarter. Levine finishes to Ellis. Pops it up for Levine.
Yeah, that's one way to get back into this game. Keep getting him the ball and let him make the shots.
DiVincenzo kicks to Clark. Here's MP, and that one drops for him. Williams has got 29.
And that's just cold-blooded right there. He's taking no prisoners.
Confidence is sensational, and it feels like no one is going to stop him tonight from scoring.
It's been all Timberwolves. So far, they've won 6 points.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show for Minnesota.
Yeah, this was one that never really was in doubt, but an all-around down performance. You kind of thought they may be going to the game.
Yeah, there was a sense of that in advance. They just pretty much blew them right out of the water. Clinic was put on display here today.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see one more of one another before the season is over.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one was a dazzling game for Williams.
There wasn't much they could do to slow it down, as he was converting every good chance he got, making every effort to put this game on ice.
Love that the guys are staying aggressive late into this ball game, just not wanting to let go of the rope.
DeRozan against Clark. And DeRozan missing.
Well, he wants to shoot his way out of this cold spell, but the struggles continue.
Yeah, he's got to move on, forget about this sequence here, and then try to find a way to get on the board.
Williams can't hit.
They're close to making the defense pay for the lack of coverage that time.
Levine with it. Williams picks him up. On the wing ball. Looking to end the run. Again, the miss by the Kings. Clark outside. And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what's shocking? I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect the road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Brett Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge. This is Kevin Arnold along with our 2K Sports crew. So long.
Showtime, 2 balls only.
debut for this team and the home debut for the rookie MP. He'll have a chance to make a lasting first impression here in just a moment as this stadium gets ready to rock. Welcome to 2K Sports. We have the NBA coming up. Great to have you with us. I'm Brian Anderson, along with Grant Hill and Clark Kellogg, our reporter out in the force. The season is still young, but it's been interesting to watch some of the rookies find their footing here in the NBA, Clark.
That's always one of the more interesting things for me.
Checking in for Daniels.
Stop.
Set the tone. Something that the organization loves about MP Grant, he's always letting his team do the talking.
Yeah, it was fun with a quick here or there, but for the most part, MP lets his actions do the work,
Not his mouth.
He's very mature and as focused on the rookie that you're on.
So for Toronto right now, Barnes and Pirtle down low at the 4 and 5. And then he quickly is out there with Grady Dick and it's Ingram in a strong forward position. Barnes will check in with Allie LaForce.
Well, Timberwolves are one of the biggest teams in the association, and Coach Chris Finch said, quote, that's how we're built. It's part of our identity. That's what we have to lean into. We want to be the bigger brand and force our side of the limit. Brian, he loves to see other teams hesitant to venture in the paint.
Hearing footsteps, right? Allie, thanks. Raptors are in the middle of a rebuild and are looking to establish an identity here.
Yeah, they've got some solid young pieces, specifically Scotty Barnes. They just need more experience and some time in order to learn what it takes to win in this level.
Down low. Here's Pirtle. Oh, and he blocks it off the glass. Wow. Right side, Williams. We've got 1:28 left in the first quarter. 5 on the clock. Down to the low post, it goes.
The contest was there, but MP was so sure of himself attacking the goal.
Doubled by Randall and stolen by Williams. The finish! And Williams punches it home.
Adding insult to injury with the dunk off the steal.
Nice to see a good play on D. That led to some fireworks.
Well, turning defense to offense, we talk about it all the time. Try to hit your opponent at the other end before they celebrate.
Outside Barnes. That's a Dick. Looking to win the run. That's it. Coming off an assist from Barnes. Dick's got his second bucket of the night.
Don't want to let them get into a rhythm from out there.
Randall outside. It's Edwards on wing. Edwards slams it in.
Watch out now. Look out below. Edwards rising to the rim.
And how about our AT&T 5G slam cam? Couldn't capture that play, remember. Raptors trail by 5. Barnes fielded it up ahead. The 3. It's rebounded by Rudy Gobert.
So far, rebounding has been a focal point for them. And the trend they love to continue right through the next 3 quarters as well.
Dick the pass to Barnes. Foul called on MP. That's his first foul of the game. 8 seconds left to play in the first. 4 seconds left. Can't capitalize inside. Good scoring in this one as we conclude the first quarter. It's Minnesota. They're up by 5. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in a moment. Joining us. We played through 1 quarter in this one. All right, let's quickly break down the game. What we've seen so far from the Timberwolves, guys.
Give it up for their D. They're battling, communicating, and coming up with key stops. They got to learn how to Only the first quarter already, they made enough big plays on defense to last really an entire game.
So on the floor for Toronto to kick off the second quarter. Brandon Ingram out there with Chris Boucher. And it's Walter, and then it's R.J. Barrett, and it's Shed in at point guard. Good work there as it goes. Boucher's got his first points of the night.
You love to see it. Barrett operating the pick and roll like a surgeon.
Here's MP. Oh, MP with the hammer.
This is how you force a defense to collapse. Kick the ball right inside.
Raptors trail by 8. Outside Ingram. Pass to Barrett. 6 on the shot clock. Stolen by Reed. Getting a couple numbers in transition. Outside, DiVincenzo. And here's the key from outside. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
Well, the effort they show on defense has been infectious. Everyone on this team continuing to jump at opportunities to come away with steals. Another big component of their game early on has been their execution on the fast break. They're getting a bunch of easy baskets pushing in their transition.
And playoff success has been rare in Minnesota. Last year was the first series win in 20 years.
How about this fact? That was LeBron's rookie season. 2004. Yeah, that's the last time the Timberwolves advanced in the playoffs. So T-Wolves fans, I think, really savor the trip to the conference finals and are looking forward to this group going forward.
And here's Ingram from the arc. Can't get it to fall. Over 2 now. Minnesota lead by 11. Bulls up on the wing. Again, the Timberwolves score.
I'll tell you what, they are on fire this quarter, taking total command of this game. I don't know if this field goal percentage is sustainable, but if they can stay close to what they've done in shooting the ball, they'll run away with this one.
Boucher finds Barrett. And a rebound by the Timberwolves. They put up a nice win against Sacramento last time out.
Most of the arena was totally against them, but they looked inward, trusted each other, and made good plays. Well, the cohesiveness was evident out there. These guys feel like they can win in any arena, and they proved it that game.
And now to the Timberwolves.
And they caused a lot of headaches with their on-ball defense. They cracked the top 10 in team steals, but a few games changed because of their aggressive D.
And with that #1 rank in fast break points, this was a team that played with urgency. They used their speed every chance they got. They loved to push it. And the new group getting ready for the Timberwolves. Gobert's checking in for Reed. Julius Randle comes in for McDaniels. And the Edwards checks in for Walker. And Mike Conley is subbed in for DiVincenzo.
When we talk about MP's unlimited potential, we're referring to nights like this one.
There's a minute 54 left in the first half. Quickly with the ball. Here's Ingram. And again, Toronto, no good. Minnesota leading by 15. To the middle. And if he gets it to go, all the assists by Randall. If he's got 11 points in the quarter. Quickly passes to Pirtle. Outside Dick. And here's Ingram outside. And it's Gobert with a rebound. Gobert's got his 4th rebound in this one. All right, Mark, how about Rudy Gobert? What consistency rebounding the ball.
Yeah, averaging double digits pretty much every season in the NBA. And that helps them in the battle of possessions, obviously. But it also helps them control pace. You got a guy who eats glass like that.
The first half, a fairly one-sided game. The T-Wolves on top, running away with it. We've got more hoops coming your way in just a minute. comparison. And now not a bad time to take a look at the schedule. And that's it for halftime. Thank you for joining us. We send you back to Brian Anderson for the start of the third quarter. Just about ready for the second half here. Going with a whole new group out there. The Raptors also with a sub. Barrett checked in. Right around 3 minutes into this second half. And here's quickly to the paint. Here's Nick. Ooh, good finish at the rack off the slick feed. Dick's got 8.
In terms of scoring, he hasn't done much of it. Just 1 of 7 this quarter.
Dante DiVincenzo out there with Williams. Got 3, and then it's Nikhil Alexander-Walker, and then it's Minot into the 4. So that's the Timberwolves 5.
Excellent play by MP at the rack. You got to take that risk every now and then.
And so he draws the foul, and then into the line to shoot a pair. Well, we have a chance to hear from Shams Charania. He's calling in right now. Shams, great to have you on, bud.
Thanks. Many consider this summer to be the most challenging field in the history of international basketball. Nevertheless, Team USA got it done in Paris. It's not getting any easier, but the star power of the U.S. men's team shined bright in the City of Lights. Guys, a classic ending for a stacked U.S. roster.
What a performance. Shams Charania with the report. Thanks, Shams. Ingles, he's checked in for Florida. Boucher's checked in for Toronto. He's off on the second. Clark of Minnesota being a major player in the West now. Wolves Nation is howling.
Howling and growling, BA. That's the name of their fan base. Yeah, they're excited. And for good reason. Not only is this team competitive, but they can be downright dominant at times, especially at the defensive end of the floor. Easy group to cheer for.
It's Barrett on the wing, covered by Alexander Walker. Here's Boucher for 3. Alexander Walker grabs the board.
And they're up considerably because of their efforts on the glass. Yeah, rebounding has been a big key to this one. They've asserted their will and taking control on the glass. Yeah, their defense is starting to wear down. That's 3 straight buckets at the rim.
And so quickly we'll bring it up to the Toronto Raptors. Pass to Boucher. Back to quickly. Outside Barrett. Just 5 on the clock. Pick by Hurdle. Goes up from the top of the key. Gets rebounded by Minnesota.
You know he wants that one back. I mean, more often than not, he'll sink that mid-range jump.
And the shot is off. The Raptors shooting a less than average 27% of the third quarter. Ingles against Barrett. Hurdle passes it quickly. Fires from the wing. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves building a mountain of lead up 31 points as this quarter concludes. They've done well to disrupt the opposition. And at the moment now as we take a look at our State Farm assist of the game.
Talk about painting a magnificent picture with that dive. Just a great decision and a perfect delivery. And they love to see every possession end this way. True team basketball.
And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may already be out of hand. On the court for Toronto to start the fourth. Chris Boucher out there with Brandon Ingram. Then it's R.J. Barrett, and it's Walter, and it's Shed in at the point guard position.
And they force feed the ball inside. I mean, no reason to go away from what's working. And when you make 5 in a row and close like that, it also takes pressure off your regular guys too.
Ingram finds Barrett. Well, Brad, we've heard some out there saying dynasties are dead. These days, there are a lot of teams contending for titles.
Well, the NBA is happy to see all the competition, but, you know, seeing has been
been defined over the decades by dynasties. We'll see if their epitaph has been written.
Here's Williams. Oh, the teardrop falls in. MP's got 10 points here in the second half.
Their defense just falls apart once the ball goes aside. Tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
Here's Shed. DiVincenzo covering. And a Shed missing. MP right side. Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. And a foul called on MP. That'll be a second foul of the game. And Minnesota making a change here. Clark checked in. Dick, he's checked in for Toronto. Ingram against Clark. Boucher is screening on Clark. Down low.
Boucher. We know Ingram as a scorer, but Brandon's really worked on his passing game over the years.
The Timberwolves have gone 2 of 3 to open the fourth quarter. MP outside. To the layup for 2. MP's got 29 points.
And I mean, they're taking this defense to task, taking them to school. Every one of their last 10 points have come in the paint.
That's to Dick. Puts up a 3. Reed with the rebound. Reed's got 5 rebounds tonight.
He had a couple in the first, but so far he's been unable to get uncorked here.
DiVincenzo pass to Williams. Uses the glass on the layup. Williams got 8 points in the quarter.
Showing a lot of muscle on the interior. It'll be unaffected by the defense there.
Outside Barrett. Around 3 minutes gone here in the fourth. And the shot goes in.
Boy, the offensive end in his game is so impressive. I mean, he's a threat every time off the ball.
Outside Reed. MP scanning the floor. And Williams punches it home.
He is the story for them offensively, and a big reason why they're ahead.
Here's Walter. Pass to Boucher. A minute 35 left in the final quarter. And here's Ingram from the arc. And the three-pointer goes.
It's safe to say they have dominated this game. The game wasn't even as close as the score says in a great win for the Timberwolves.
Pretty clear who the better team was today. They dominated just about every phase of this game, Grant.
It's almost hard to think what didn't go well for them. Their plan, their execution, everything was absolutely on point.
And they'll chalk this up as their third win of the year.
So with this win, they take the first of 2 games they'll play this year against Toronto.
And what a huge performance it was for MP.
And, you know, there was no stopping him. Whenever he got the ball, he was looking to score, and rightly so. Yeah, just going to work on the defense. Ingram using an agile move to beat him.
DiVincenzo finds Reed to the inside. Now here's Williams. And there it is for him. Williams has got 35 in the game.
And guys, that's got to be the dagger. This is how you finish the game. Yeah, what a time to put the hammer down. Any hope of a comeback diminished.
Pass to Ingram. Inside. Puts up the 8-footer. Nice D from Reed.
More often than not, he'll cash in from that area. The defense might have done just enough to bother him.
And if he gets it to go, all the assist by DiVincenzo.
They got a big lift from the crowd tonight, giving them the energy they need. Boy, they've given their fans plenty to cheer about, that's for sure. And for Teal coaching, they not.
All the way to MP. So we see the Timberwolves taking the W here, showing that they're the far superior team. They win it going away.
I'll tell you what, give it up for the
their fans. They love to watch this team dominate. You best believe they're all going home happy tonight.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Allie LaForce, Clark Kellogg, and Grant Hill, this is Brian Anderson saying thank you for watching the NBA, brought to you by 2K Sports. So long, everyone.
A well-dressed group of Timberwolves as they made their way to the locker room. They love playing in front of their wicked home crowd. Welcome to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. And tonight we'll see the Dallas Mavericks as they go up against the Minnesota Timberwolves here at their home Target Center. Victorious Bird, Greg Anthony, and Hall of Famer David Aldridge, I'm Kevin Arnold. And our special guest at the broadcast table for this one, the celebrated Sean Shalani. Hey, Sean, thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Kevin, thanks so much. Always want to hang out with you.
One thing Sean's here talking about, manning top-tier pick protections. Intrigued. Why is that? Williams is checking in. We got a timeout call from Chris Finch. He's going to have a discussion here on the sideline. On the court for the Mavericks, Derek Lively is out there with Davis. Then there's Irving. Then it's Tyson. And it's Marshall. And at the three, the small forward. But Trey, it's only by Edwards. Minnesota's got over 4 of 3 point left to spread out. Outside. Mr. Williams lets it go for deep. Thompson with the rebound. And Sean's nothing against the workout like your phone. It's only NBA that we're watching this game. You got this great group here at courtside. You got 2 phones working, and there's a third. Can you react? Can you estimate how many texts do you send and receive a day? Is there any number when you're looking at it?
How many texts do you get a day related to NBA info? You know what the job is. It's hundreds of messages running my phone on a daily basis. It's 3 times usually 50 texts a day. Those are going to be 20 hours. This is what we love to look forward to.
Oh, I know you love every second.
Excellent setup. Pre-shot preparation, getting into that catch and shoot game. We see you, Kyrie.
Gobert with the best to Randall. Nice ball into the Minnesota. He's scoring out all week. McCain has got 7 points.
And he likes to get in a rhythm early. A nice triple.
And so it's Irving with it. And then everybody else. We have all these great foreign players. Maybe 3 of the top 5 players in the NBA are all foreign players, right? And so much was made of Anthony Edwards. Here's a 22-year-old American player who has maybe the charisma, the fame, the everything you could advantage, it could be our next big clear. Is there ever talk around the league about why are European players being so down? There are great young American players to compete against this great influx of international players.
The grassroots programs, you have to look at what happens abroad and in the States. You have to give a lot of credit to the way they develop players over in Europe, in many of those regions. They do a great job. And if those players come with the driven of their passion, they're trying to get here to the States to play basketball at high school in the NBA. And you see at the amateur level, there's only a lot of ability that they realize. Players are given so much so soon in America, so to be able to have that chip on your shoulder, to have the passion, and exude the confidence that anybody else has. The younger generation of players definitely have someone they have to look up to.
It's time out here from our Hall of Fame reporter, David Ulrich. That's the latest, David.
Thank you, Kevin. Rudy Gobert continues to embrace the challenge of elite rim protection. He said competition is what it's about. Sometimes we're going to get dunked on. Sometimes I'll get the block. I'm not going to stop coming and doing what I do. I'll be there every time. Kevin?
And just like you. Thanks so much. Looking at it out there now for the Timberwolves. Nas Reed, he's checked in for Gobert. And it's Dante DiVincenzo. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Daniel Gafford's checked in for Jared White. Caleb Martin comes in for Nashi Marshall. Dante Simmons checked in for Thompson. And Spencer Dinwiddie checked in for Irvin. Randall against Hicks. Randall dishes to Williams. Just 5 at the clock. In, coming off assist for Randall. Embiid's got 6.
Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. But he had better start buckling it out.
Gafford. Line and stop the alley-oop.
Boy, Gafford gets off his feet quickly and the pass is absolutely perfect.
Now, DiVincenzo. Mr. Williams. Now, McDaniels. Back to Williams. So Russell. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. Both teams have it going here early. Still close through the first quarter. Timberwolves lead by 1. And for this one. And getting going again here in the second quarter. Fairly close game so far. And look at how offensive approach has been going here so far for the Timberwolves.
I like how they work the ball inside. He moves closer in there and really helps you out.
Yeah, what an excellent display of passing in the early stages of this game. A good deal of their points coming directly off quality passes.
And you got Williams. McDaniels is out there with Reed. Then there's Dante DiVincenzo. And it's Alexander Walker in his small forward. So that's why I'm from Minnesota. Hey, Sean, I know you cover the league like no one else, but I've seen your jump shot. Here's a sweet shade. You must have played organized ball.
I played a little bit in high school, Kevin, but once I got cut in high school, that's when I knew my career was not different into what I'm doing now, right? Covering the NBA, but listen, I have a lot of confidence in my jump shot. Steph Curry, shoot the basketball. I'm not trying to give any comparison, but I do understand the ball. That is the one thing I know I can be decent with. Not much else I can do.
Oh, Embiid sinks the triple.
Getting 0 from distance in the first, that's his second make this quarter.
Mavericks trail by 9. There's a second with a run and a half gone by. Irving, a screen on Embiid. Irving for 3. No good there.
Well, he tries to enter with a 3 of his own. He can't do it. You can't get caught up in the one-on-one aspect.
Now, we talked about expansion. That has been floated around. We know that teams have to realign. Sean, any ideas on which teams might have to share with expansion in the East or West?
Certainly most of the potential expansion cities at the high level ones have been noted as teams from the West. Maybe you have a team out east that is in the West, moving into the Eastern Conference. But the league could obviously surprise everyone with a different solution. Maybe having one expansion team be the Eastern Conference team, one being the West. There's several options to add sort of in the NBA.
I would think New Orleans would be one of those teams, right? Just the way they are geographically with Memphis. Those two teams are in the West, and I can see that. Maybe going east, possible.
Certainly Minnesota and Memphis, those are two teams that, to me, have the Eastern Conference.
Edwards comes in for Alexander Walker. Dallas also making some changes. Derek White comes in for Daniel Gafford. And it's Clay Thompson in for Dinwiddie. Shams, with his offense unit ranking with Browns, is all over the NBA. If you understand changes with how franchises operate with both the players and the media, and that relationship, and where it may be headed.
I think they have to be more specialized now in the organization. We're just seeing true partnerships develop with teams and their players, especially their top players. Teams have to pay more attention now to data, to metrics than ever before. And the relationship between the top players in the organization, that is very, very important. And the teams that do a good job of managing relationships, of managing expectations, that is clearly what separates the elite teams with the bottom teams. And it's certainly the players in today's generation are very, very polished in the conference.
MP is in a great rhythm right now. It behooves this team to just keep feeding this young guy.
Pass to Washington. Here's Thompson. Jackson up a three. Out that line, and the Timberwolves lead is cut down now to just 8 points with the basket from Washington. We got a timeout call from Chris Finch. He's made the decision. He wants to huddle up with his guys.
Welcome in for halftime. And what's on tap, you ask? I can answer. So far, it's been a nice outing for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They've had a lot of success in transition, running for their lives like a turkey in the middle of a
I don't know that that's a great comparison or a good turkey sound effect. Neither is that. And now, here's the player of the week for both the East and West. The Eastern Conference winner, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis, certainly deserves all the accolades. When you look at everything he's about, he remains one of the most unique players in NBA history.
I mean, if you could build an NBA player from scratch, he just may be the prototype. Thank you for being with us. Now let's send it to Kevin Harlan for the second half tip.
Playing through the first half, plenty of basketball though left in this one. checked in for the Mavericks. Mavericks trail by 8 on the floor for Dallas. We've got Jared Lively. Irving is out there with Dante Exum. That's Anthony Davis. And it's Thompson into the 3. Davis kicks to Irving. And a miss there on the dribble.
And they're controlling the boards here. That's +5 in that category.
Edwards shot is good.
Don't think twice. Ball touches your hands. Let it go ahead, Edwards.
Irving looking for an opening. A shot by Thompson. No one's around. Here's Davis. He's rolled in by MP. Minnesota lead by 10. 1:58 left to play in the third. And it's off from three-point range. Exum passes to Irving. Thompson with it. Dallas moving it around. There's the dribble. Minnesota with the rebound. Edwards got his rhythm on this one.
What a brutal night for this guy, and it is having a ripple effect throughout the team. This is tough.
When you allow the scores to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
To me, this is simply stated been a complete lack of defensive attention and focus all night long.
Irving finds it to Thompson from long range. And it's Thompson again.
Boy, with his shot not falling right now, it might be time to look in a different direction. See if you can get your teammates started.
You don't see that kind of quickness from your bigs very often handled with great hands there.
Thompson outside. Back to Exum. And that time also on the shot. Timberwolves lead by 15. Williams passes it to Conley. Shoots the 3. And it's Williams. That time it is from Conley. Conley's got 5 assists tonight.
Oh, great ball over there.
Average shooting 40% from the field. Davis struggling around.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
And we've got a timeout called by Jason Kidd. He wants to make some adjustments to the game plan, clearly. Christie comes in for Clay Thompson. And Dinwiddie subbed in for Irving. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Christie, defended by Alexander Walker. And finished off by Exum.
How about the leaping ability of Dante Exum? Terrific instincts on that one.
DiVincenzo gets to Williams. The 3. And another 3 for Minnesota.
He's found his rhythm from deep, and you can see the confidence.
And I think the defender knows once he gets to the look out for the bucket was all the things to him right now.
And so it's Minnesota with a 19-point advantage heading into the net. A chance now to hear Jason Kidd talking to his team moments ago.
They get wide open looks. They know like it's a shoot around right now. We got to stay in the body. Let's get inside that shot. Wide open shot.
Jason Kidd not very happy there, as you can tell, pointing somewhat to the effort of those guys and the lack of it that they're giving on the floor right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're not being serious about it. Missing assignments, losing focus. That's not how you're going to get it done.
And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today. As we get going in quarter number 4. Williams is out there with Dante Exum. And it's Joey Nichols. Then it's Miles Lee. And it's Alexander Walker into the 3 spot. So that's the line for Minnesota. And the Timberwolves making a change here. Myers is checked in. Rushing with the screen on Williams. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
One thing you have to love about Spencer Dinwiddie is his confidence. Here's a guy who knows he belongs, and he's proving it with his play night after night.
Now free throw drops for Dinwiddie. Clark, he's checked in for Minnesota. That one is no good.
Spencer Dinwiddie, one of those players that seems to have improved with every passing season, and his numbers back that up. This guy just keeps getting better.
And they pick up two. And that's 31 points for Williams.
You know, the assist is the key part of that play. The pace on the bounce pass, perfect.
Dinwiddie for three. Gets the three-pointer to fall.
Well, he has proven that you've got to respect the long-range ability of Spencer Dinwiddie. Nice.
Williams for three. 6 to the three-pointer. Williams has got 13 points in the second half.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the dribble. 4 of their last 5 mates are from the
Well, this is a point guard who can flat get off the floor. Dinwiddie using his vertical to his advantage.
DiVincenzo passes to Williams. Fourth quarter now, we're about a minute and a half in. And he makes good on the way. Williams has got 36.
Well, they're winning largely because of this guy's play. He has been sensational.
And we've got a timeout called by Jason Kidd. And that timeout by Coach was carefully measured. We want to make sure that everybody is on the same page here. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. They go here. He's checked in for Reed. Julius Randle comes in for Clark. Edwards is coming in for Alexander Walker. And it's Mike Conley in for Dante DiVincenzo. And then Edwards goes for a different look here. Derek Lively, he's checked in for Daniel Gallo. Anthony Davis comes in for Washington. Marshall is checked in for X. And it's Clay Johnson in for Dinwiddie. MVP outside. 5 to shoot. Take it again. Average trail by 20. Thompson outside. Love Green. Rebound by the Timberwolves.
He is just not taking smart shots out there. A pattern he has fallen into tonight.
Williams against Thompson. And Williams. And it's Williams throwing it down. And so it's Irving with it. And after the out. Pass to Marshall. Outside Irving. And here's Davis for three. Rebound by the Timberwolves. Gobert has got rebound number 9 now. One number is tonight. Williams with the ball.
Explosive finish at the cup by MB. He might have surprised himself, folks.
And great camera work showing up on the AT&T 5G Slam here. There's 1:59 left in the fourth quarter. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Pass to Davis. Thompson outside from downtown. And that one falls to the off of Davis' speed. Davis has got 5 assists tonight.
That's the kind of lead that you're not going to find success with, guys. They got to get a hand in this.
And Davis sends it back.
What a play by Davis. You think you can get it over me? Nuh-uh. Not on my watch.
Marshall with it. Edwards there. And Marshall kicks to Davis. Pass to Thompson. And the three off target.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the three. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession. And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Minnesota.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse, and they were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And during the long NBA season, each contest is important here tonight. Tonight's win will give them 4 on the season.
And once it becomes official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against the team. They'll face them twice more this season.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, Just a monster game for Williams.
It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket seems as wide as a barrel.
Here's Marshall. They double with MP. 6-second difference between shot and game point. Here's Irving. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving, one of the outstanding mid-range shooters. This guy legit 3 level.
On the way, MP. And the shot's good. MP's got 42 in the game.
I mean, already hot coming into the game. Is it fair to say he's hotter?
So it's the two Bulls taking care of business here. They poured it out without showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
You know, this game could really be a defining one for what they can do when they are playing at their best. I mean, being here at home, no doubt helps, and the execution was flawless.
And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Dorisburg, and David Owens, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. So long, everyone.
Yo, if you went 40 tonight, man, congratulations, my brother. Great game.